Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is one of the most exciting videos I filmed this year. We are talking about my larger-ish eyeshadow palette collection and declutter. So I started a series on my channel. Every Friday I upload a new declutter video, and typically I like to film palette collection videos like once a year, but I decided that since we're moving, I needed to declutter my makeup collection before the big move. I've been slowly going through everything, so I do have a declutter playlist. I will try and remember to link it for you guys so you can watch that if you've missed my videos. But every Friday, we've got a new declutter video. Today happens to be eyeshadow palettes. This video is about an hour long, so I hope you guys are ready. I'm so excited. So without further blabbering, let's go ahead and check out the declutter. So I have the two Jaclyn Hill Morphe palettes. This is volume 2. This is volume 1. I think I'm going to keep both of these because, I don't know, I really like this one and I got the original. So this is the good quality one. The James Charles palette. I've held on through multiple declutters, so this one is gonna go. I have two of the Lime Crime palettes. I bought this one. I think this one was sent to me from Look Fantastic. I really like the color story in this palette. It was one of my favorite palettes from last year, I believe. It just has a cool color story. The Venus 3 I got from Look Fantastic, and I don't really love the color story of this one. So we have a special guest in the room. So I don't love the color story of this one, but I'm going to hold on to it in case I want to use it in a future video. And then I bought this one with my own money. I don't really know what possessed me to buy this palette. I think I got it on sale and it's cute, but I really haven't used it. I think I might hold on to it though, just because I think the color story is really pretty. Okay, so these are my DD signature palettes. These were all sent to me from the brand. I do have a code with them. Anything I have a code with, I'll try and put on the screen just so you guys know. Otherwise, all my codes are usually in my description box. So this is their Apple palette. Actually, I don't even know if that's what it's called, but the pigmentation on these palettes is really, really good. So if you want to check out a small women-owned indie brand, I would highly recommend. This is her Kiwi palette. This was a collab. I don't believe she sells this one anymore. And I just realized I'm missing a shade. I feel like I may have found this and didn't realize where it came from. So, oh well. Anyway, and then I have the Strawberry palette. How cute is this? And that is what the palette looks like. I haven't used this one. We have a very curious camper here. But I'm sure it's the same good quality as with the Apple palette. So I'm planning on holding on to this as well. And I might use it in an upcoming video. Okay, next are my KKW palettes. So I was going to declutter these, but I decided to hold on to them because I could use these when I do makeup for my friends. So I have this one, I have this one. These kind of look identical, but this is the Classic Blossom, and then we have the, I don't even know what this other one is. And then I have the Mario palette, the original collaboration. I have the second one, but I did end up selling that, I think, on my Poshmark. And then this is her like Heat palette. I also recently picked up her Camo palette, so you'll see that coming up. And then here is my pile from Alter Ego. I do have an affiliate code with them, so if you make a purchase using my code, I will make a small commission. But this is the Artemis palette from them. We have the Daydream palette. We have the Luster palette. We have Canyon, which is one of my favorite palettes from them. I have the Goddess palette. I have the Aurora palette. And I have the Sahara palette. I also have their newest palette, so you'll see it in the contents of this video. I just don't have it with my Alter Ego palettes. Okay, so the next section is kind of like palettes I still need to film videos with. So I do have these 5-pan palettes from the ColourPop like colorful collection that they did. I've never film with these, and they actually should go in my mini eyeshadow palette drawer, but I have them out so I can remember to film with them. So hopefully sometime in 2021 I'll get to these 3. These are 2 other ColourPop palettes I haven't played with. So I have the Lizzie McGuire palette and I have the Limoncello palette. This one got so many good reviews, so I finally broke down and bought it, but I haven't used it yet on my eyes, so I don't have any real thoughts on that. Next is the Elysian palette from Copacetic. I wasn't planning on buying this, but I ended up doing so. This is an indie brand and they have these beautiful eyeshadows, so I need to test this out. I haven't done that yet. Next is another palette I haven't used. This is the Crystal Nights palette from Cash Beauty. They recently started stocking this brand on Beauty Bay, so I did end up throwing this into a Beauty Bay order. Okay, so this is the Glamlite Red Velvet Cupcake palette, and I do have a code with them, so it does save you money, and I purchased this one with my own money. I haven't filmed with this yet, so that's why it's on the shelf that it's on, because it's still in like purgatory. This is a cool brand. This is Ziza Cosmetics. They actually sent me this palette and I've been meaning to do a video with this. They kind of have like the coolest packaging, and this is their collaboration with the British Museum, one of them. And it's such a fun color story. I really need to play with this palette as well. Just been trying to do my best to prioritize what you guys might want to see the most of. So I'm doing the best I can, but super grateful they sent this to me and I will be filming with this. Okay, here is another palette I haven't filmed with yet. This is the Emerald palette from BH Cosmetics. I honestly don't know if I'm going to film with this. I really don't know why I bought this palette. I probably shouldn't have. But this is the only one that like sort of appealed to me, and I have a bunch of friends that review these palettes every month, and this was like one of their favorites, so I did end up picking this up in a little BH order I placed. I haven't done any eye looks with this palette. This is from the Saga of Freya collection from Odin's Eye. I did use the other smaller palettes, but I haven't used this one. I've only swatched it, so this is a double-sided palette. It's so cute, and I know the quality is amazing because I did swatch it, but I still need to put this on my eyeballs. So here is the KKW Camel palette that I haven't used yet. I just thought this color story was so pretty, and I do love a good camel moment, so I did end up picking this up, but I do believe her brand is being rebranded, so you can actually get this on a really good discount now, which I'm a little bit salty about, but it is what it is. Okay, I haven't used this Alien Cosmetics palette yet. This is the, I don't know what this is called, but the artwork was a collaboration, and then this color story is pretty cool. So I just thought it was kind of different, and I've been slowly collecting Alien palettes, so I did go ahead and grab this one, and I haven't touched it yet. So it's in my palette purgatory pile. It looks like my cat's found a spot to chill in, so we're just going to leave him there. But these are the 2 palettes from Game Beauty. They sent me these. Honestly, I still need to do some looks with this, so let me know if you want to see that. I do have an affiliate code with them, and these were sent to me. They also have a newer palette that just launched. I don't believe I'm getting that one in PR, and I don't have a plan to buy them because, as you can see, I have so many palettes to use still, so I'm going to hold off and use these ones instead. Next is the Nabla Cutie palette. This is the Midnight palette. I got this in a Trend Mood box. I already did a eye look with this, so I would recommend checking out that video. Oh, this is so shameful. I haven't used this palette yet, and I'm dying to because all my friends that love Odin's Eye love this palette, and I'm sure it's so good. I love this color story so much. This is the Noors collection, and yeah, it's gorgeous. Okay, so I tried Mirror Beauty. This is a new brand, and I just love this collection because it's based off of like 3 different cultures, and I did do a full kind of like swatches review situation with this, so if you want to check it out, I would highly recommend. I do have many different like eyeshadow palette playlists and things like that, so you can find the tea there, but honestly not my favorite formula, but you know, they're new, so I'm sure they have room to improve in the future. I'm not going to declutter these. I'm going to hold on to them, but if I wasn't a beauty YouTuber, I would probably see myself decluttering these, if I'm being honest. Okay, next are these palettes from Musée Beauty, And they sent me this first one. I think this one is still my favorite. It's their Impressionism palette. And that's what the color story looks like. I really wanted the ColourPop Powerpuff Girls palette, but I realized that this color story is pretty much that color story. And so I decided to pass on the Powerpuff palette. But if you have this palette, let me know. Do you think the same thing? And then I did buy this one myself. This is the, can't remember what this was called, but it's no longer available and it's really hard to get in the sleeve, so I'm not going to pull that out. And then this is their Van Gogh palette, which is so cute. I think Katie Marie pretty much sold this one to me, and I haven't used this yet, which is kind of embarrassing. So yeah, those are my Muse Beauty palettes. Another two palettes I haven't tried from a brand I haven't tried is IBY Beauty. Somebody recommended this brand so long ago to me in a live stream, and I still haven't used them. I bought them on Macy's, and so they're going into like my awkward palette purgatory pile. And then another palette I haven't used because I've been dying to try Playing in Makeup by Yolanda. This is a black owned brand, and I bought this. It was such a good deal, such a good sale. This color story is so stunning, but I haven't touched it, so it's also in my eyeshadow purgatory pile. So embarrassing, you guys. Okay, so this next section is a brand I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes from, and we're gonna start off with the Blueberry Muffin palette. Now, I see you guys requesting ranking videos, and I promise you they're coming. I just wanted to do a collection video first and try and get organized, so that's what I'm doing. Because if you haven't seen my life update, we actually bought a new house and we sold this house that I'm in right now. And so part of the selling process is, of course, cleaning. And I completely cleaned off my IKEA desk that I use to film YouTube videos. So I'm taking advantage of having a clean desk to kind of go through and film this from the top angle. So yeah, I don't know if that's TMI, but ranking videos are coming. I just wanted to kind of do the declutter stuff first and kind of get organized and get ready to move, because we're gonna turn around and move probably in less than a month. So it's a lot, it's a lot. Anyway, this is my Blueberry Muffin palette from BH, probably one of my favorites. Then I have Glowing in Grease. This is their blush palette. This is Lost in Los Angeles. This is their pastel palette. I've got this one, it's called Traveling in Tokyo. This one is Smitten in Switzerland. This is another personal favorite. This is Avocado Toast from their breakfast series. Next, I have my Sweet Shop palettes. If you don't own these, highly recommend at least picking up one. This is Pistachio. I've never used this one. This is Orange Sorbet. This is a Bubblegum. This is one of the best blue eyeshadow palettes I own. Cherry on Top is a gorgeous red tone palette. And then I have Cotton Candy, which is a beautiful pink purple palette. I also recently filmed a video featuring the Tulum palette. This is their bronzer palette for medium to deeper-ish skin tones. This is their holiday palette from 2020. Such a good one, the Naughty palette, if you want to pick up a BH palette on a good deal. Then I have the BFF palette, nice neutral palette. Then we have these remix palettes they did. So here is the 80s. I have the 90s. And then my personal favorite is the 2000s. I would probably declutter the 90s and the 80s if this was the end of the year. But since it's not, I'm going to move with these and then we'll see how it goes once I move. Okay, and I have more BH palettes, but I think they're in other parts of my collection. But this is the Let That Ish Go palette. Another beautiful green 9-pan palette from BH if you're looking for one. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my Sigma collection. These are kind of like their regular eyeshadow palettes, but this is their collaboration that they did with, I already forgot, Stephanie Lange, and it's beautiful. It's the Essentials palette. I think this is gorgeous, and you guys know I am a Sigma affiliate, so I do receive PR from them, and I have a code as well. Some of these I have purchased myself, like this palette I bought, but they also sent it to me in PR because I wasn't sure. And then I have the Untamed, which I also purchased, and this is what it looks like. Maury, oh god. Okay, off. Come on. I know. Next, we have the Warm Neutrals palette. This they redid, and they sent it to me in PR. Enchanted, I bought myself. This is such a gorgeous palette, and it's what made me want to try the Sigma brand because so many people were raving about this palette. Actually, I bought the Quarter Rosa first. This totally caught me off guard because it's such a beautiful neutral eyeshadow palette. I think you guys have probably bought this palette on my recommendation as well because it's such a gorgeous neutral palette. And then one of their newer neutral palettes is the Ambiance palette. This one was such a gorgeous release for 2021. So glad to have received this one in PR as well. Okay, so next are my Lunar Beauty palettes. I'm not planning on getting rid of any of these. This is Strawberry Dreams. Such a pretty palette. I have Eternal Eclipse. This is what it looks like. Definitely more grungy than Strawberry Dreams. I did break down and buy this one. This is the Greek Goddess palette. And then it's just a neutral palette from him. And then probably my favorite is the Moonspell from Lunar Beauty. Super cute palette. I also have the Facelift palette that he just launched. I just haven't used it in a video yet. But how cute is this packaging? It's so stunning. Okay, it's time to talk about my Kaleidos collection. So I have their newest palette. This is the Flower Punk palette. Another brand that I definitely want to do like a ranking video. I hate picking favorites. This is my Escape Pod palette. I'm so glad that they did a slimmer version of this packaging. I think people will really enjoy that, especially if you are trying to have like a minimal collection. This you can't get anymore. It's my baby. This is the Deep Sea Luster palette from Kaleidos. I believe this was their first ever palette. And it's so, so stunning. The formula is amazing. So glad I grabbed that when I did. This palette is, of course, one of my favorites. It's my friend Angelica's collaboration with Kaleidos from the start of this year. And then I have their mini palettes. So I have Astro Pink, Sashimi City. This is VR Neon, Turquoise. I can't remember what the rest of these are called, but absolutely stunning palettes. So definitely adding these to my mini eyeshadow palette drawer now that that drawer is clean. So it'll give me some space on my eyeshadow palette shelves. So these are the Odin's Eye mini palettes. I'm planning on adding these to with my mini eyeshadows, but I bought these ones myself from the Nora's collection. I haven't used all of them, but I don't think I will anytime soon just because of time purposes and again moving, but I'm adding these to my mini collection. And then Odin's Eye, when they added me to their PR list, they sent me all of these. So I'm gonna add these three to my mini drawer as well for YouTube purposes. So here are two new palettes. These are from the Saga of Freya collection that Odin's Eye sent me. So I really like these two. I have used them. I just need to film with that big palette. So I'm gonna put these away. I also have my little High Tide palette sitting here. I need to put that away. This Nomad palette is the new palette from them, the National Parks palette. Here's the Lunar Beauty palette I was telling you about that I haven't filmed with yet, but I have used it off camera. It's just okay. It's definitely not my favorite. Here's the other Nabla palette that I need to put away with the Midnight. This is called the Analog palette. Also need to put away my Barbie palette from ColourPop. Here's another BH straggler. This is Puerto Rico. This cute palette from What's Up Beauty. It's called the Monsoon palette. They sent this to me. This palette is from Glam Shop, which is a Polish brand, I believe. It is very fragile. But I need to put it back. And then I have this highlighter palette from Odin's Eye. I need to put this in my face palette drawer or maybe like my highlighter drawer. I'm not 100% sure where I need to put this. And then I have another Odin's Eye palette. This is the Alva 2 palette, the more colorful one that they did last year. Okay, so Melt is another brand I have a ton of palettes from. So these are the Beetlejuice palettes from Holiday 2020. Absolutely gorgeous. You can't get them anymore. I kind of love that Melt does that. Like, get it or forget it. You know what I'm saying? Then I have this palette, which I haven't used, but I saw good reviews, so I bought it when I saw it on sale. This is the Impulse palette. I should honestly probably declutter this, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna try it someday. I would declutter some of these if I wasn't a YouTuber, but I'm not going to because I am a YouTuber, so I'm gonna hold on to all of these. But these are some of my melt palettes. So I have the Rust, I have the 420, I have the Gemini, which is one of my favorites, and then this is the Mary Jane, which is one of their newer palettes. They always kill it with the packaging. Of course, I have the much lusted after Morte and Eternal collection. So this is the Vita and the Morte palettes. You can pry those out of my cold dead hands. And then we have these tiny palettes. So we have Smoke Session. So gorgeous. I did repurchase this one because my original one had like puffy shadows. She's in Parties, another gorgeous palette. I think I might keep the plastic in here just because these shadows are pretty fragile. And then I just got the Blueprint, which I have never used. I wasn't planning on getting this, but it was in stock on Beauty Bay, so I bought it when I placed a Beauty Bay order. So those are my melt eyeshadows. Okay, so next we have my ABH eyeshadow palettes. My favorite one is the Amrezy, I believe. I don't think I've changed my mind about that. Then we have Soft Glam, which I really should declutter because I never use, and I kind of think it's boring, but it's such a staple. We got the Norvina palette. I really should declutter this one, but I'm going to hold on to it. This is the Riviera. I have the Sultry palette. Looks like that. Then we have the OG Modern Renaissance. Probably one of my oldest ABH palettes. I have Subculture. This is the reformulated one that I got at like Marshall's or TJ Maxx. So good. Wish they had made it known that they reformulated this so that more people could have tried the good ABH formula. I have the Carly Bible palette that looks like that. I've never tried this palette. It's the Alyssa Edwards collab. I really should or like declutter it, but I have it. And then I have the Jackie Aina collaboration. Probably one of the most loved ABH palettes out there. And of course, one of my favorite makeup artists, Makeup by Mario x ABH. Okay, so next I'm going to show you another brand that I always talk about on my channel, Miss Natasha Denona. So I have the Love palette. We have the Sunset palette. I've got the Glam palette. And my favorite from the middies, the Bronze palette. Next, I have her $129 category in the plastics. So we have the Biba, I have the Triochrome, and I have the Circle Loco palette. Then in the weird leather packaging, we have the Gold palette. Still one of my faves. I've got the Metropolis, another fave. This one, not a big fan. I don't know if you can get this one anymore. This is her Star palette. And then I have her $200 plus palettes. My husband bought me these over Black Friday. This is the Purple Blue palette. Oh God. And then I have the Green Brown palette. And the reason I haven't ranked her palettes in my collection yet is because I have not tried these two palettes, and I feel guilty ranking her eyeshadow palettes without trying those two because they're a big part of her makeup collection. Okay, next I'm going to show you my Pat McGrath collection. I feel like this is another brand I'm known for on my channel. So I have the Star Wars palettes. Of course I got these. My husband is a huge Star Wars fan, so of course I had to. So that's what that one looks like. This one looks like this. I'm never going to get rid of these, I don't think. And then I have these ones from Holiday a while ago. So that's what that one looks like. I think this one's my favorite. Another one that I need to rank, but I haven't yet because I feel like I need to try some of these palettes that I haven't tried in a while. So these are all of our 6-band palettes that I kept. There have been a few others I've tried, but I've decluttered because I wasn't happy with the quality. If you haven't tried anything from Pat McGrath and you don't want to spend $100 and something, highly recommend checking out this one. This is the Celestial Divinity palette. So good. It does not contain any of our special shades, but the price point is right. And you can almost always get this on sale, so you don't need to spend full price on that. Now it's time for the motherships. Okay, I'm not going to do this in order, so let's just see what I have here. I have Subliminal. This is one of the original palettes. We have Divine Rose 1, not my favorite. We've got Decadence. This one is limited edition. I don't think you can get that one anymore. One of my favorites, Bronze Seduction, if you're a neutral lover. Another one of my favorites, Divine Rose 2 in the limited edition packaging. I've got Midnight Sun. We've got the beautiful Subversive palette. And then last but not least, Sublime. Okay, so the last brand on the fancy shelf is Huda Beauty. This is the Naughty palette. One of my new favorites. We've got the Mercury Retrograde. I've got Desert Dusk. I feel like nobody talks about these ones anymore. We've got Rose Gold Remastered. And then we have New Nude. That looks like that. Okay, so here are my Ace Beauté palettes. I have the Vintage Dawn palette, which I really enjoyed the color story, but I didn't really love the formula. Then I have the Oceanic palette that looks like this. This is such a gorgeous green-blue palette. And then we have the Nostalgia palette, which looks like this. And then I have the Flare palette, which I've never used. And I've been holding on to it this whole time. I think I'm going to keep holding on to it. They keep teasing a new palette, but I haven't seen anything new come up from them. Next, I have my Colored Rain palette. So I have the Juicy Boost. I have the Safari Rain, which is my favorite Colored Rain palette. I have the Power palette, and I have their Vivid Pigments palette. I think I'm going to declutter all three of these because I don't like the formula, and I'm just going to keep the Safari Rain, which is so gorgeous. Next, I have my two Strobe Cosmetics palettes. I just placed an order for the It's Freaking Bats palette and the Arcana palette. I can't wait to have all four of my Strobe Cosmetics slash, what are they called now? Shroud. This is what they were originally called, Strobe. So I have these two palettes, and then I'll have the two new ones soon. Okay, I think I'm gonna declutter these. I've got the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette, which I literally never reach for. Latte 2, which has such a pretty color story, but I never reach for. And then I bought this palette purely for packaging. It's so cute. I've never used it. I just love the little doggies on the packaging. I don't know. Okay, maybe I'll keep this one and get rid of these two because I don't love this formula. Okay, next I have some e.l.f. palettes. So I have the Earth and Ocean, which is really nice. This is the J Kissa palette, which I don't think I filmed a video on this, but it was pretty decent quality. I'm going to hold on to those for drugstore. And then this palette, one of my favorites from this year, this is the e.l.f. X Jen Atkins palette. So that is what it looks like. Next, I have this little Lion King palette. This was a collaboration with Sir John, who's Beyonce's makeup artist. I'm such a fan of Beyonce, and so I'm definitely keeping this palette. It's really, really good. Okay, I don't know where my Bronze Nudes palette is, but this is my Supreme Nudes from Artist Couture. Definitely keeping that. Now it's time to show you guys my Glamlite collection. Like I said, I am a Glamlite affiliate. I've purchased all of these with my own money. They don't send me PR, but this is the Ice Cream palette. I have the Cake palette in the big packaging. I've got the Mini Paint palette. I've got the Burger palette that looks like this. I've got the Pizza Slice palette in Veggie and Meat Lovers. I've got the Taco palette that looks like that. I got the Street Taco palette that looks like this in the packaging. And then I've got the Burger Slider. I've got the Chocolate Donut palette. I've got the Pie palette. And I got the Glam Donut palette. So I'm keeping all of these. I like to keep them in the packaging because they're easier to store in the packaging, if you would believe. So these are my two Storybook palettes. I've never used either of these. I would say don't pay full price. Always wait for a sale because they have good sales. This one I keep because I'm such a Mean Girls fan. So I have the Burn Book palette. And then this one, I think Katie Marie made me buy this one too, just because of the beautiful color story. So this is the Starry Night palette. Ugh, the sleeve. Okay, it's so pretty. Look at, never used it. I know. I know. Okay, so this next section is all palettes that need to go in my mini drawer, I think. So I have more of the Nabla Cuties. This is the Cutie palette in Coral. I have the Cutie palette in Wild Berry, which is super cute. And next we have Metropolitan. I have Platinum, so pretty. And then we have Nude, which looks like that. Next I have this cute little mini palette from Lethal Cosmetics. I do have a code with them. It's not an affiliate code, but they do send me PR. Next I have this little Gingerbread palette from Too Faced that I don't really use, but I thought the packaging was so cute. Nomad Cosmetics sent me these two cute little palettes, and they're so adorable, but I don't see myself using these, so I think I'm gonna have a giveaway in this video, and I'm gonna include these two, so check the description box for the info on the giveaway, and I think I'm going to be including these two in that giveaway. Next, another palette I haven't used yet. This is the Viseart Etendu Violet, whatever the heck. I picked this up from a Beauty Bay order as well. I need to use it, but I haven't. And then I have a discontinued purple palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. This is the Violet Ink palette. So pretty, but I also love their new Flight Club palette. If you're looking for an indie purple palette, I would highly recommend that one. If you watch my highlighter drawer declutter, I did declutter the highlighters that went with this eyeshadow palette, and I think it's time to declutter the little eyeshadow palette. Ah, I love this packaging so much though. Oh my gosh. Should I do it? Should I keep it? I'm gonna keep it. I like this packaging so much. Don't judge me. Okay, my next little mini palette is this one from We Makeup that my friend Angelica sent me, so I'm definitely keeping this. And now it's time for me to show you the 6-pan palettes from Juvia's place that I have. So we have the Blushed Rose palette. We have the pinks. We have the berries. We've got the mauves palette. I've got the violets. Got the nudes. I've got this one. It's the collaboration with Yami. I believe this is discontinued, so you can't get it anymore. I've got the chocolates. I have the Nubian Royal. I've got the taupes. I've got the Nubian Glow. Got the collab with Vanessa. This one is so pretty. And last but certainly not least, the bronzed. Okay, I got more small palettes. This is the Ultimate Utopia palette. I have not used this one yet, but I love the color story, and my friend Heather Austin loves the big palette of this, so I really need to try this out at some point. I've got these two little cuties from Midas that they sent me. I'm a Midas affiliate. I will put my code on screen. These are their pastel palettes. They did 2 different color alliterations of this. More favorites from Midas. I am loving these Unveil palettes. They're so cute. I have videos with both of those. And then I haven't used this one yet either. This is the Jungle Lights by Flower Beauty. I don't even know if they sell this, but my friend Lacey from Spooky Lips and Fat Hips would rave about this, so I really need to try this formula. Here's one I think I'm going to declutter. This is the Milani Halloween palette from last year, I believe. Such a cute color story, but I don't think I'll reach for this, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Okay, so it's time for my Glam Shop palette to be reunited with this one. This and the purple one are the only 2 Glam Shop palettes I own. Then we have Break the Rules from It's Belle. This indie brand blew up this year. I do have a code with them, and they have a new palette coming soon too. If you're interested, you can use my code to shop. I haven't bought from Terra Moons in a while, but they were so kind and they sent me their El Barrio palette. This is so pretty. And then I have my Sydney Grace Chase Your Dreams palette, and I have their Summer Days palette in the light and dark versions. I didn't get their palettes from their 2021 Christmas in July sale. I was contemplating buying them, but as you guys can see in this video, I have so many eyeshadow palettes that I've never used that I have no business buying anymore. So I did decide to make the tough decision to wait. So yeah, kind of in pain about that, but I'm also pretty happy that I'm trying to stay strong. Okay, next is my Give Me Glow section. So I have the Vivid Rose, which looks like that. Oh, I got some Sydney Grace to show you guys too. This is Autumn Rain. This is their first ever eyeshadow palette. I've also got the Mel Thompson Tiny Marvels palette. Then we have the Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams palette. Not a huge fan of that palette. Summer Vibes. Christmas Morning. This is one of my favorites from Give Me Glow. I've got Vintage Rose, another one of my faves. I wasn't really a fan of the extra spicy, but I'm going to hold on to this for YouTube purposes. Juicy Olive is one of my favorites from the brand. And then Sweet and Sticky, I wasn't really a fan of either, but I'm going to hold on to it because I already own it. And it's always nice to have things to reference. Also showing you guys the Enduring Love palette that Sydney Gray sent to me. I do have a code with them as well, so I will put it on the screen for you. Okay, these two clearly belong in my mini drawer, and I didn't know how small these were when I ordered them, and I just dropped this one, so my husband's going to be impressed. But these are from the Russian indie brand Tammy Tanuka. How cute! I've been meaning to film with them, but of course, in true Karen Harris fashion, I never did. So I'm going to put those in my little mini eyeshadow palette drawer, and maybe someday I will. Okay, next I have the Flower Bomb palette, which Midas sent me. And this is what it looks like. They did repackage it. Such a fun spring colorful palette. I also have the Perception palette, which they recently launched as a collab. And I also have their Genesis palette. This is so pretty. Such a nice color story. So I feel like it's time to say goodbye to these, but again, I keep thinking I will use them if I ever have to do a friend's makeup. So these are two palettes from Viseart. These are the only two left, I think, in my collection. I've decluttered everything else. So I have the warm mattes and the neutral mattes. These were so hyped on YouTube back in the day. I guess I do have that other Viseart palette, but I think those are the only three in my collection. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Bejeweled to Hypnotize palette. This is so pretty if you like neutral eyeshadows, and her quality is so nice, but I never use it. I'm still going to keep it though because I did buy that. And then I have this one, which is the Iconic palette. This is such a good palette from Charlotte Tilbury. The quality is amazing. I don't think you can get this one anymore. Ugh, maybe I should declutter it. I think somebody might really enjoy this palette. Darn it. I don't know. I think I'll keep it. I don't know. Don't judge me. Okay, so we have the So Jaded palette with Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. I think this is discontinued, but I'm going to keep it. I also have the Giant Fade into Hue palette. I don't think I ever played with this on my channel. I don't know. Should I keep this or give it away? I don't know. I have no clue. Let me know in the comments. Do you think I should keep this palette? Send help! Okay, and then I have the It's All Good palette. I think I'm gonna declutter this. It's cute, but I never use it. Okay, we got some Urban Decay and some Too Faced. The Pumpkin palette. This is so cute. I hadn't bought a tin can palette from Too Faced in so long, and this one was so good, so I'm keeping it. This palette I wanted to love when I thought, like, hey, maybe Too Faced eyeshadows aren't so bad. But I don't really like this one, and I think it's at TJ Maxx now if you wanted to get it on a deal. Too Faced Marielle. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter that. Urban Decay Naked Honey. I honestly never use this. I bought it because of Teresa is Dead, but I never use it, so I think I might need to declutter that. Stone Vibes. So cute. Again, another one I never use. Am I going to declutter this? I think I might. Putting it in the declutter pile. Electric. Oh, I feel like this is all that's left in my collection of cool Urban Decay. But I never use this. I have so many other colorful palettes. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Okay, I should really just declutter these. If I'm going to declutter the Urban Decay palettes, I feel like I can declutter these two palettes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's too much. Okay, this palette I was gonna declutter, and then I like rescued it, and I don't know why. It's the Tarte Adeline Morin palette. I'm gonna declutter this. I don't know why I saved it. I have the Urban Myth palette from Black Moon. I've always wanted to try them. They always do like neutral palettes. So when they finally did a colorful palette, I totally went for it. It's cute. I don't reach for it, but I think I'm gonna hold on to it. because I spent my hard-earned money on the palette and I don't just need to get rid of it just to get rid of it, so I'm gonna keep it. If you're balling on a budget, this is a really cool, colorful eyeshadow palette. This is the LA Girl Main Stage palette. So many of you got this shattered from Ulta because Ulta can't stop shipping things in freaking bubble mailers, which makes no sense considering how fragile eyeshadow palettes are. Get it together, Ulta. Okay, this is probably not the most revolutionary Urban Decay Naked palette, but I still feel like this is one of the better ones they've done recently. Definitely one that caught my attention, so I'm gonna hold on to this. Then I have my affordable little Profusion palette collection. I got rubies, citrine, emeralds, neon, violets, fuchsia. I don't think I've ever used half of these, but I'm gonna keep them because I really like the emeralds, and if I need to refer to them in a video, I will. I have used some of these. I don't think I've tried the neons. I could probably declutter. Actually, let me just declutter all of these and just keep the emeralds because I never use these ones. I'm lying to myself by keeping things I don't use. So I'm gonna get rid of it. Shit's about to get real. Never used either of these. I'm gonna get rid of them from ColourPop. Stop it, Karen. You never use any of these. Okay, decluttering all of those. I'm gonna keep Yoda. I'm gonna keep this one. I do really like the Wild Child. Never used the taupes. Never used the Baroque. So I think these two can go. Brown Sugar has always been one of my favorites, but I feel like Wild Child is so similar. Urgh. Darn it. I'm going to keep both of these because I can't decide. I think this is so cute. It's at Forest Sight by Raw Beauty, Christy, and ColourPop. This is such a cute neutral palette, the Whatever palette. I don't know if they sell this anymore, but I'm going to keep that. My favorite, Good Sport. So cute. Keeping that. The I Think I Love You, one of my favorite neutrals that I never use. And I have the Hocus Pocus palette, which, unpopular opinion, did not grow up watching this movie, so I thought it was really bad. Me and my husband literally watched it last year around Halloween because everybody was talking about this movie, and we did not understand the hype. So I'm keeping it because it's cute and it's hard to get, but other than that, I have no reason to keep this. But yeah, I just condensed the shit out of my ColourPop collection because I was just keeping this stuff and I never use it for anything. I'm gonna add the teal palette, the High Tide. I think I'm actually gonna declutter the Barbie palette. I don't really like it that much. It's okay. It's not my favorite, so I'm going to put it in the declutter pile because I don't see myself reaching for it over any of these ones. So those are the ones that made the cut. So we got some Juvia's. I have really pared down my Juvia's Place collection throughout the years. I've pretty much owned every single one of their eyeshadow palettes, but I have decluttered my collection a few times. So I do try to keep the best of the best, my favorites. So this is a Nomad. Haven't used this in a hot second, but what a beautiful grungy color story. Things are gonna get wild here, guys. I think I'm gonna declutter the Festival palette. I haven't used it in a hot second, so we're gonna say bye to that. Another palette I don't see myself using is the Saharan 2 by Juvia, so I'm gonna declutter that. The Tribe palette, you're gonna have to pry out of my cold dead hands. It's one of my favorite green palettes, so we're keeping that. And then I have the Warrior 3 by Juvia's Place. I haven't used this in a while, but I'm going to keep this one. It's a little bit newer from them. And then my two favorites from them, honestly, with their big palettes is this new Wahala 2. This is like one of the newer, bigger palettes they've done. I feel like they've been sticking to like minis and quads recently. So I don't know if we'll see more big palettes from them, but this one is so good. It was like one of my top palettes last year. And then, of course, the Wahala original palette. So stunning. So I'm keeping that. But yeah, I just decluttered a few Juvia's Place palette, so pretty proud of that. Okay, so I have reunited my Nomad Parks palette with my other Nomad palettes. So I have the Lake Como palette. This is one that I got in a Tribe Beauty box. So cute. I still haven't tried their Tokyo palette. I feel like Amy Loves Makeup is gonna fly to North Dakota and just smack me because of that. I've got the beautiful Orient Express palette. I think this color story is actually way prettier in person. And then I also have their Shanghai palette, which they actually stopped selling, so you wouldn't be able to get your hands on this, but since I have it, I'm keeping it because I think it's beautiful. Okay, another favorite indie brand of mine. Oh my goodness, I have the Killer Purr from Menagerie Cosmetics. I also have her Whale Song palette. I've got the Pastel Pup, which she sent me. And then I think I bought this one. I can't remember. This is the Flight Club. This is the gorgeous purple palette I was telling you about. Definitely recommend. Love the formula on this one and the new Annette palette, Chef's Kiss. So those are some of my favorite newer-ish indie brands. Maybe you haven't heard me talk about them in a while, but I love Menagerie and Nomad Cosmetics. Another favorite indie brand is, of course, Lethal Cosmetics. They're a brand out of Germany. I have a code. It's not an affiliate code, but you do save money, and they sent me both of these palettes in PR. So this is their After Dark, and then this is their like 90s inspired palette. Oh no, this one's After Dark. What's this one called? I'm blanking. I'm so sorry, but here's two palettes from Lethal. Okay, I'm not sure. Does Certify exist anymore? I can't remember. I've held on to these palettes for so long. I never used them. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Okay. We've got the You Beauty palette from Glamnatrix. They so kindly sent me this palette. It's been selling out at an insane rate every time they restock it. Definitely one of the most beautiful palettes in my collection, so I'm definitely keeping that. This Sugar Crystals palette has survived many declutters. This is from Violet Voss, and it's so beautiful. My friend Amy Loves Makeup gave me such a good tip with this palette. She said, use the last row as inner corner highlights. Well, I did do that for a while, but I feel like I haven't reached for this palette, so I think this one is gonna go to the declutter pile. Another new to me brand this year is Alien Cosmetics. This is their Serendipity palette. I have a few other palettes from them that I've shown in this video, a few more coming up, but this palette is gorgeous. Beautiful metallics, and yeah, as I'm filming this, they have a new palette coming out tomorrow, so got my eye on that. I've got a few Ofra palettes. I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter these ones. I've never used them. I keep holding on to them thinking I'm going to use them, but I don't think I will. And then this is the Samantha March palette with Ofra that she launched. So I'm going to keep this one because I love Samantha, of course. I got my two Scott Barnes palettes. One was sent from Look Fantastic. It's this one they sent me. This one I bought with my own money. Quality is really nice. Price point is insane. I would highly recommend picking these up on sale. I would not pay full price for the Scott Barnes palettes. Okay, here's my favorite Odin's Eye palette, at least my favorite neutral Odin's Eye palette. This is the Alva, the original. This is the first palette. I bought this with my own money, and I really like this. I'm going to reunite it with all my other Odin's Eye palettes that are scattered throughout my collection. Okay, so I meant to try this Cosette palette. I still haven't tried it. Ugh, I feel like I need to put this in purgatory. Like, if I don't try it in the next couple of weeks, I need to just get rid of it. Same with this one. This is the Beauty by Stoney palette. I did swatch this, but I never actually put it on my eyes, so I think this one I can just declutter. This brand, Estate, is a newer to me brand. They've been sending me PR, and these are actually really good palettes. Quality is really nice. I know they're kind of like boring compared to the color stories I'm usually using on my channel, but if you want like a solid, good eyeshadow formula, you might want to check these out. Okay, another palette that just needs to get decluttered. This is from that DD palette. I need to put that back in the DD palette, but this is from M Cosmetics, spelled E-M-M-E, I think, and My friend Amy loves this brand, but I don't really find myself reaching for this palette, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on my Poshmark. 2 more palettes that need to go in purgatory. Oh my gosh, I've never even swatched these. I'm a terrible human being. I was so excited to try Shared Planet, and I never did, so gonna throw that in the purgatory pile. These 2, I think I just need to declutter. I don't like these. These are from Illamasqua. I got them from Look Fantastic for a video for Pride, and I was happy I got to try the brand, but not a fan of their eyeshadows, if I'm being honest. Okay, I need to do a video with this palette. I've only used it once on my eyes, and I wasn't that impressed with this. I know Britt Clark like raved about this brand to me, so I bought this. And I tried it once and I was like, it's okay. So I need to pull this out and keep it on my desk so I can try it, because I do like to wear neutrals to my boutique job. So I think I might do that. Let's say this is in purgatory too. Okay, this is the only Kimchi Chic Beauty eyeshadow palette I have. I bought this for video purposes and I like the eye look I created with this. I really don't see myself retrying this palette anytime soon, but I think I'm going to keep it just so I can have like a variety of brands in my collection. Another palette that I never ended up filming with, but I should film with this. Or did I? I don't know. It was a Teresa made me buy it because she hated this palette. There's so many like polarizing viewpoints on this palette. For example, Heather loves this palette. Teresa hates this palette. Like so many opposing viewpoints. So I think I'm going to put this one in with my Vive because I do need to try this out just for myself too, because I haven't touched it in a while. Okay, I have a decent beauty bay collection. This is one I haven't used. This is the Sunset Horizon palette. Really need to try that. Did they discontinue the New Romantics? I hope not, because it's so cute and I like it, and it looks like they're coming out with an all green palette, so I'm really excited. This one they did discontinue, which I'm still mad about. This is the Book of Magic. If they ever bring this back, please buy it. And then I have the Nikki Tutorials palette, which I don't really love this color story, but I'm definitely going to keep this because I feel like it's iconic. Okay, this is another brand. I haven't tried these palettes in a hot second. These are the Mitchell palettes, so I'm going to keep these out because I do want to play with these. I haven't bought any of his other newer things. This is from when the brand originally launched, and they just really caught my eye because the color stories are so unique. So I have those. Then we have my Be Perfect collection. So I have the Dream Big palette, which is their newest palette that I have. They have come out with other palettes since, but this is the last one I purchased. I also have their Clientele palette. I haven't tried this yet. It is a collaboration with makeup artist Ja. I believe she's German. Not 100% sure. I'm going to put that in my purgatory pile because I really need to try that. Love my Carnival palette. This was my favorite palette, I believe, of 2020. And I know they're working on a part 4, so I can't wait to see that. And then I have the Excel Carnival palette. And I'm going to keep it because why not? It's gorgeous and I like the Be Perfect formula. Okay, this is the only P. Louise palette I have and it's massive, but I love the color story. Another one I wish I used more, but I haven't really in a long time. So I'm going to hold on to it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. It weighs like half a ton, but it's a cool eyeshadow palette. I have the little Moschino bear from the collab with Sephora like 100 years ago, so I'm definitely not getting rid of this because I feel like it's like a part of makeup history, but that is what the inside of the palette looks like. And how cute is the little bear? Adorable, if you ask me. I did find this BH palette. This is also in my drawer of pending palettes to try out. The green one was so good that I know this one's going to be good. I just have to play with it first. I also have my beautiful friend Teresa Is Dead's collaboration with Lethal. Like I said, I'm in the process of selling and buying new houses, so it's been wild, but one of the next times I film, this is very much high on my list to play with. One of the best indie palettes I've tried this year is the Lois Meet Me in the Underworld palette. I thought this palette was overhyped, but y'all, I've been using this for my boutique job. I did a eye look with this in a chatty Get Ready With Me where I talked about how I got attacked by MLM Huns, and the eye looks have been hot fire, so very happy with this palette. If you've been wondering if it's worth the hype, I would say the answer is yes. 100 times yes. Okay, this is another Alien Cosmetics palette. This is the Strawberry Milkshake. Super cute. I started filming a demo video with this and I got busy and I never filmed like the intro outro situation. So I'm going to do another eye look with this and include that footage. So stay tuned for that if you've been curious about this palette. I think this might be the newest palette in my collection. This is a relaunch from Sigma and Beauty Bird. And this is the Dream palette. I honestly wish they had switched up the packaging and done like their packaging where they have just like the, I don't know. I just wish they had done something different. But you know Sigma has that good formula I like, so I'm gonna be playing with this palette next on my channel, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I've used every single one of these quads. These are the Juvia's Place quads. The Rebel quads, this is the Honey. This is the Mints. We've got the greens. I finally got a green palette from Juvia's. And I also use this in an eye look. This is the gray quad. And I'm tucking those in my mini eyeshadow palette drawer. Okay, here's another new brand I tried. This is Tres Luce from Becky G. And I have a video with this one. I didn't film a video with this, but it's, or maybe I did. I can't remember. I did an eye look with this palette. And this blue shade is gorgeous, so I'm so happy I bought this from BH Cosmetics. And I just tried Clarity Cosmetics for the first time. This is the Cobra palette, and I really like the eye look I did with this, so very excited to have that in my collection. Okay, so here is one of my favorite Alien Cosmetics palettes. I think this one is called, I can't even remember, but it has these really cool duochromes in it, so if you want to check out a palette from them, I think this one was the one I would recommend. I also have my gorgeous Adept palettes. I was sent these two and then I purchased Plain Jane. If you haven't checked out Adept, I don't know how I can help you other than saying please check them out. I do have a code with them as well. I'll put it on the screen. These palettes are gorgeous and I wish I had more opportunities to use them. And then here's another Nomad palette. This is the Iceland palette. So gorgeous. Highly recommend checking this out. It might be my favorite Nomad palette. And then one of my new all matte favorites is the Blends palette from Blend Bunny. This palette is gorgeous as well. So Sydney Grace was so kind and they sent me all of their Temptalia palettes. So this is why I'm trying not to buy more palettes from them from the Christmas in July sale. But I did a whole video with swatches, comparisons, eye looks, the works. So if you haven't seen that yet, I would recommend checking it out. These are so stunning. And then one of my favorite collab palettes of 2021 so far is the Annette X Menagerie palette. This one is so good. The metallics are stunning. I did buy this one with my own money. And then of course from Glamlite and Miss Michaela is the collaboration palette. So pretty as well. Again, you can use my Glamlite code to save money if you're interested in this palette. So I'm down to my last 4 palettes. This is my favorite ColourPop launch of 2021 so far, the Lush Life palette. This color story is amazing. I wore this palette so many times this month and I love it so much. Another gorgeous neutral palette from Artist Couture Supreme. Bronze palette. So beautiful on tan skin tone. Highly recommend if you like the first one to check out the second one. My favorite BH palette of 2021, the Paris palette. This is Passion in Paris. And the color story is gorgeous. The formula is that good BH formula. And the last palette I have to show you is the Zendo palette from Miss Natasha Denona. I wasn't expecting to like this palette as much as I did, but I really do like it. So very happy with this palette as well. Okay guys, so I counted and I'm decluttering 40 eyeshadow palettes. That's kind of exciting. I'm probably gonna throw up anything that I bought with my own money on Poshmark, which I think just from eyeballing, it is everything that's on the shot right now. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed sitting through that entire palette declutter slash collection. Like I mentioned, I decluttered 40 palettes. I think it's possible that I might end up decluttering even more. I definitely plan on doing a makeup inventory video at some point. I don't know if it's going to be in the old house or the new house, but it's definitely going to happen. I'm so excited to be able to share my entire collection count with you guys, and I just think that's such a fun project. And we still have lipsticks to declutter. We've got primers to declutter. We've got face powders to declutter. I know all of that is coming. I will list my Poshmark in my description box in case you guys are interested in shopping any of the gently used makeup products I showed in this video or my previous videos. And don't forget guys, giveaway info in the description box. So check out there. I do have a ton of stuff that I've been collecting for giveaways. And now that I'm moving, I think it's time to gift some of those goodies like I intended so I don't have to carry them on to a new house. So very excited for that. Maybe I'll have multiple giveaway winners. We'll see. Just kind of depends on the budget because, you know, it does cost money to run giveaways because you do have to mail the products out. Anyway, all that information in the description box. I hope you guys enjoyed this declutter video. Please leave a comment. Give this video a thumbs up because you guys know it took me forever to film. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next declutter video next Friday. Bye guys!